everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your /1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming Marvel Legends Captain America Red Skull / Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure Wave Classic Captain America figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we're seeing with all the Legends for 2016. You've got the Build-A-Figure logo up at the top, the Legends series logo, and then the figure clearly displayed in the window box packaging. For the box on this series, we've got black and blue highlights. You've got the Captain America logo down below. On the sides for this one, we just have an image of Captain America, some artwork for Cap. Same on both sides, and then on the back we have a look at the figure, a brief bio, and a look at all the figures in the Red Skull / Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure Wave. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging. Now before we get into the review, as I've said with the previous figures in this wave is not yet out. I picked this wave up from an overseas seller so I could do reviews early for you guys, but the wave has not yet hit retail shelves. I don't have a release date as of yet. When I do, I'll be sure to let you guys know. I'm guessing the end of this month or sometime next month, but I don't know that for sure. It's just a guess. And as I said, once I have a more firm release date, I'll be sure to let you guys know in a future video or post it up on Marvelous News. Okay, so for the figure itself, the figure comes with a number of accessories, including for the Build-A-Figure, the Onslaught, Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure piece. We've got the back piece, the little cape thing that he has that goes down his back. Now we'll be looking at this figure, the Onslaught figure, in full detail in its own review after we've looked at all the figures in the wave. And I will address, I know many of you asked in the last review about the Red Skull head, so I'll address that in that review as well. So be sure to check back for that. Now besides the Onslaught piece, we get Captain America's shield, and this is the same kind of shield we've gotten many times with Captain America figures in this line. You've got the little clip that moves, so you can either clip it on his wrist or it's got the peg that you can plug into the back. And you know, same red, white, and blue design. So we've seen this shield many times, and again, he's got the hole in his back, so you can just fit it in there. Now they've given an extra feature. So in the old days, Cap, before the whole magnetic thing and everything, Cap used to basically have straps on his shield, and so when he had it on his back, he basically would put these straps over his shoulders. So they've included these extra pair of straps, and they don't attach to the shield or anything. They just go over the arms. They're just black pieces of plastic with the little belt buckles on it, and so it basically just gives you that added effect like he's wearing the shield, like with the straps and everything. So it's kind of a cool little effect and everything. Many of us like to pose the Cap figures with the shield on his back, and I think it's a cool little added feature that they've added. And you've even got some little belt buckle holes on these and everything. So I like that, and it's a nice little added touch. And of course you can display them without the straps if you don't like them. Now besides that, we also get an extra pair of hands. So the figure comes with a pair of basically grip hands to hold stuff, which are attached to the figure when you take it out of the packaging. And then he's got an extra set of hands. For his right hand, it's in a saluting position, and then the left hand is in a pointing position. Finally, we get an extra head. So back in the day, there was a story where Captain America gets transformed into a werewolf, and so they've included this Cap Wolf head, which has nice detailing. I like the teeth. I like the eyes. I think they look good. It's got the ripped mask because his head obviously got bigger, and he's got the ears and everything when he turned into a werewolf. So I like the detailing on this head sculpt. It's a nice look. It was a one-time story thing. Not anything really major in the overall scheme of Captain America, but it's a nice little gimmick thing for those of you who are hardcore comic book readers. I think this was a story back in the 90s, if I remember. I actually have the comic somewhere. And what you do is you just pop the head off and obviously pop the Cap Wolf head on, and then it looks like Cap Wolf. Now it's not 100% accurate, because when he actually transformed into the wolf, not just his mask ripped, but multiple portions of his costume ripped because he got much bigger and everything. So it's not, obviously it's not completely accurate, but again, it's just kind of a little gimmick thing, kind of a tribute to longtime comic book readers, I think. A head movement on the Cap Wolf head is pretty good. You still have up and down movement, and he can turn left and right. Now one thing I have noticed is that the blue on the mask for the Cap Wolf head seems to be just a little bit off from the blue on the rest of the figure. it's just a slight variance, and you really only notice it in the light. But I just wanted to note that it looks like the blue on the Cap Wolf mask is a little bit different than the blue on the rest of the figure. The figure itself, I think they've done a pretty good job with this. This obviously is meant to be Captain America in his classic costume before he had the pouches on his belt and everything. Now, to me, this figure has a very much Ron Lim influence to it. This figure reminds me of how he looked when Ron Lim was drawing the Captain America comics. Kind of a bulkier build. You can see his eyebrows up here around his mask and stuff. So definitely I'm seeing some Ron Lim influences with this figure. The star is kind of big on his chest. Paint applications are basic, but not too bad. You got a little bit of bleeding here on the star. You can see some blue coming through a little bit, and maybe a little bit here on his arms. You know, not a lot of wash work. Maybe a little bit on the legs for the muscle texture, but again, pretty basic paint applications. You got the star on the back. You do have that hole there, which kind of sticks out when you don't have the shield on there, but I'd rather have that so you could put the shield on his back. The belt is a separate piece, so it does move a little bit, so you want to make sure. I had to kind of straighten it out a little bit when I took it out of the packaging, so you want to make sure you line that up so the belt is even with the figure, not like off to the side. Also wanted to point out that I have a little bit of discoloration on the white portion of the arms. Between the lower part, the white on the lower part of the arm and the white on the upper part of the arm, also the hinge joint. It's a little almost yellowish, and it may just be with my figure, I don't know. If I had any real complaint with the paint applications or the sculpting, I would say it would have been nice if they had added some chainmail effect up here on the top part of the figure on the blue. So, you know, the classic Cap basically wore a chainmail shirt. So you see like on this old Toy Biz figure how they sculpted in the chainmail, or even on this Toy Biz classic Cap, you can see they kind of painted the chainmail texture. So it would have been nice if they had done something like that. Otherwise, though, I think the figure looks pretty good. Now, the figure incorporates that Grim Reaper body mold. For the most part, the torso, the legs, and the arms all seem to be reused from the Grim Reaper figure. Figure stands about 6.5 inches tall. And here's a comparison with some other Captain America Legends figures that have been released over the years. So we've got the Ultimate Cap that was released in that Target box set last year. This is a classic Cap from Toy Biz. This is a classic Cap with the pouches from Toy Biz. The Marvel Now Captain America from Hasbro, U.S. Agent, and then of course the new classic Cap. And you know, this figure, the classic Cap, looks to be about the tallest of the bunch. I think this is, I like this mold for Cap, and I also think this would be a good mold to repaint if they wanted to do a repainted U.S. Agent again. I know probably most of you aren't that interested in another U.S. Agent, but being he's one of my favorite characters, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Articulation on the figure is pretty good. Head's on a ball hinge joint, so he can look left and he can look right, and he's got up and down movement with the head. He can get his arm out good. He's got good rotation. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow. He's got the swivels at the wrist. He's got the hinges on the hands, so he's got good up and down movement with the hands. He's got the ab crunch, so he can crunch down and he can look back. He's got the rotation at the waist. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward good. He can do his leg out and back. He's got the thigh swivel, double jointed knee, so good bending at the knee. He's got the boot cuff swivel, hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement with the feet, and of course he's got ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. So that's my view. Overall, I like the figure. I like the added Cap Wolf. I like the straps for the shield. I think that's a nice touch. I think the figure looks pretty good for the most part. I would have liked to have seen a little extra detail added to the top part of the figure for that chainmail effect, since this is classic Cap. But otherwise, I think it's a nice looking figure. And in fact, the more I look at it, the more I see John Walker as Captain America. John Walker, aka U.S. Agent, for a time did wear the Captain America suit, and that's what I see with this figure. So I think I'm officially dubbing this the John Walker Captain America. So we'll have a full gallery of images up at marvelousnews.com. This wave, the figure with this wave is not yet out. I don't have a specific release date. I'm thinking the end of this month or sometime next month, but I again don't have a specific release date as of yet. But as soon as I do, I'll be sure to let you guys know. So let us know what you think of the figure. Leave a comment. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.